channel. If you're new here, I'm a stay-at-home mom, 3 boys. I do all the mom life, running, cooking, cleaning. I really came out here just to update y'all. I know I have been MIA for like a week, pretty much, but I think it was Thursday. Yeah, Thursday last week. My dad had a doctor's appointment about 30 minutes from the house, and all of a sudden I got a call and they wanted me to come and get him because he had fell and bumped his head. They said nothing came from the fall and when he bumped his head, but they couldn't get his blood pressure or his pulse to come up. So I could tell you, like, well, I guess I'll tell you, y'all are my friends, but anyways, so, you know, I was a tech for 8 years, so it didn't really hit me about his pulse until I called my brother to let him know what was going on and stuff like that. And they're about to wreck. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm driving home from Centennial in Nashville to get my kids, but that's why I'm telling you what's going on. Anyways, there was about a 4-car pileup right in front of me. Thank God I'm not involved. But anyway, so he went to the doctor appointment. They said he went to the bathroom and then he fell and bumped his head. So he called me to come and get him because they couldn't get his blood pressure or his pulse up. So I went ahead and grabbed the kids because I had opted to watch my nephew so my baby would have somebody to play with that day. And so I grabbed them, get them in the car, call mom and let her know what's going on. And I made it from my house to the gas station, which is about 5 minutes away, when mom called me back and told me that she was actually on her way home as well because dad's pulse was in the 30s and they could not get it to come up. Which, being a tech, like, that's not good. That's not good at all. We actually had a patient that was in the 30s. She died, and the nurse had to, like, jump on her and bring her back to life. So, but I didn't think about it at the time, so I called my brother to let him know what was going on. And I told him, I was like, dad's pulse is in the 30s. I think it's like 35. Mom's coming. She's going to take him to the emergency room, you know, all that. And he's like, well, what is the exact pulse? And I was like, I'm not sure, you know. I heard her, but, you know, 30s is all I needed to hear. And I was, you know, done. So I called my mom back and asked, and in the process of doing phone tag between my mom and my brother to get the information right, that's when I thought about that patient. And I was like, so I'm on the phone with my dad. I wouldn't let him get off the phone with me until I laid eyes on him. I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me, sorry. But I wouldn't let him get off the phone with me just because I didn't want nothing to happen and nobody is there with him. And I am very protective of my mom and my dad. So, you know, I'm talking to dad and I'm like, so why are you not on an ambulance? I was like, is anybody out there with you? He was like, no, I'm in the waiting room by myself. And my dad is very nonchalant. Don't want to admit when there's a problem, you know, that type of, like, he's just that guy. He's not going to say nothing. So I'm like, okay, hold on. So I try to call the office, the building that he's at, and nobody answered, of course. So I'm like, Dad, I want to talk to somebody. Get somebody on the phone for me. I was like, you know, nobody's in there. He was like, well, there's a receptionist. I was like, tell her I want to talk to somebody. And I wasn't being rude or nothing. Believe me, I can be, but I wasn't. And so he got me the receptionist, and I was like, hey, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. And so she told me everything again that mom had already told me, that he had went to the bathroom and he just fell. He did bump his head, but they didn't see anything wrong with that. He said that he was fine, and he was at a diabetic doctor. So, like, they're, you know, trained in more diabetic situations. They don't know, like, everything. And I'm not saying nothing bad about them. They did everything right. But I asked her, I was like, well, can I ask you why he's not on an ambulance if his pulse is so low? Because if something did happen, I don't know if they have the equipment or the ability to save him. They're diabetic, you know. I mean, I'm sure they have some kind of, but they wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, she was like, well, ma'am, you know, he kind of refused. And I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, well, do me a favor. please tell my father I will be calling him back in about 5 minutes. Tell him he better answer the phone. If he don't, when I get there, I will beat him up. And she laughed. And then I called my mom. And I was like, Mom, I was thinking about it, like, his pulse is 30. Why is he not on an ambulance? And she's like, I don't know, Kimmy. I'm at, whatever. I'm on my way. And I was like, well, I know why he's not. He refused the ambulance. And my mom had the same reaction. She's like, oh, okay. Hold on 1 second. So she called and she told them, get him on an ambulance. So we, when the ambulance got there, Mom had wanted him to go to TriStar, which is like a clinic. But it's, it's with Centennial, and my dad and them, their doctors are from Centennial, so that's where they go. And I mean, my mom and dad, my mom just turned 70 on Saturday, which this kind of messed up her birthday plans, but it's okay, Dad's health is important. So anyways, so I was still headed to him because I didn't want him to be sitting by himself, but I had to drop off my nephew and then make sure, my kids, I had to get Weston picked up. Like, it was just a lot to process in a matter of minutes. So, lo and behold, my brother was on his way. My mom was on her way. And then I told them I'm going to go to Dad until the ambulance gets there. Like, I don't want him sitting by himself. And I just kept thinking about that lady. Like, what if he passed away by himself? Like, I just can't. So, and I told Dad, like, I have everybody beeping in. I'm texting everybody because I'm the person that, like, keeps everybody in the loop when something's going on. I'm the one that sends out all the messages, the updates. Like, I take pride in that. That's me. So, I'm updating everybody, letting everybody know what's going on. I'm calling my sister. Like, the main people, my brother, my sister, I'll call them. My nephew, Eric, he just always shows up. And if anything is needed, like, he always is there. So I called him, which actually he texted me, and that's what made me call him. But anyway, so I just dropped off my nephew, which made me about 10 to 15 minutes away from my dad. And I'm still on the phone with him. And I was like, he was like, the police just got here. And I was like, oh, great, they're going to arrest me for saying I'm going to beat you up. And he was like, no, they're here to, they come with the ambulance. And I was like, so let me talk to the police officer. I was like, is the ambulance almost there? And he was like, yeah. So I was like, all right. I told Dad, I was like, Dad, I'm going to go ahead and meet Mom. I was like, I'm going to hang up with you for like 2 seconds. Answer the phone when I call you back. And he was like, okay. So I called my mom and my brother on, I'm going to show my age, but on two-way. But anyways, I called them and told them what was going on and that, the ambulance was almost there, which we didn't know where they were taking them until the ambulance got there. So I hung up with my mom and them. Mom was already at TriStar. My brother was almost there, and I was turning around to head there. So I called my dad back and stayed on the phone with him till the ambulance got there. I listened to everything. In the meantime, I'm taking phone calls, all that, getting it all handled so everybody knows what's going on. And I told Dad, I was like, make sure you find out, like, ask them where you're going. Like, I have to keep clicking over, just don't hang up and keep me on speakerphone. And he was like, okay. Because, like I said, I had different family members calling me to see what was going on and blah, blah, blah. So, then they decided that with his pulse being so low, they just didn't want to take any chances, and they didn't know why this was happening in the first place. So, they wanted to go ahead and send him to Centennial in Nashville. So, I told him to hold on, and I called Mom, and my brother had made it to TriStar by that point. And I told her, I said, they are taking him to Nashville. And she was like, okay. I said, well, just wait there. Because, like, I was ahead of Dad. Mom was, like, 30 minutes ahead of Dad. Like, we were going to be ahead of my dad. So I'm like, just wait there. Let me get there. Because I still have my baby. And I planned on just jumping in the car with my mom and my brother. But then I thought about it, like, Mom is going to spend the night. So I need to drive because me and my brother are going to have to come home. And my brother's car is like, it'll get you to A to B, but it's something you don't want to take on a long trip. You just don't know. So I told him, you go ahead. I said, why don't you drive, Mom, and I'll take my car. That way, we can come back home. So we got up there. My nephew Eric met us there. They got that in. They started running tests and stuff. He was having a lot of heart palpitations. Hold on. Okay. They still don't know why or anything like that at that point. They didn't know why or anything like that. They did do a CT scan. They found out that he did have a brain bleed from the fall. At first, they scared the crap out of me because they're like, we're going to put you in ICU. And then he came back in and he's like, you know, the hospital scares you because they tell you, it's like sometimes they talk before they know. So then they tell you stuff and you get nervous and then they come back and be like, oh, never mind, it's not as bad. So we're just going to do this instead. And me personally, I feel like, can you just find out all the information before you tell me anything? But it turned out okay. They decided that it wasn't as severe as they thought, which, I mean, to me, a brain bleed is severe. But, you know, I'm not a doctor. So, they put him in his own room. Right before he went to his own room, my sister and her husband and their 6 kids showed up as well. So everybody, like the immediate family was there. Me, my brother, my sister, her whole family was there. And Eric is actually her kid as well. But, so we were all there. We caught up with Dad, you know, tried to lighten the mood and stuff. And then, so since that day, and today is Wednesday. So since that day, we have just been like going through tests and stuff like that. It's been really hard for me. I'm not used to dropping my kids off. I'm not used to not picking them up. Like Weston, yes, I drop him off at school. But far as like picking him up from school, it's always me. I don't drop the baby off. Like they're always with me. So it's been kind of hard because this whole week, even like over the weekend, my boyfriend will watch him. Their dad, you know, he would watch him for me while I ran back and forth, and I would make like 2 or 3 trips just because like I hate my mom being there and having to walk. She can walk fine, but she gets out of breath and stuff. So, you know, it's like I am their caregiver. Like, I don't want to say I'm their mother because I'm not. They are my parents. But I am their, like, caregiver. I live with them. I know how things are. I know what it is. You know, so it's, like, hard for me to just not... Even if me and my boyfriend go on vacation, like, it scares the crap out of me that they're home for how many ever days and I'm not there. So, it's just hard. But anyway, so this whole week, what I've done is dang, there is a bad wreck. Oh, man. But anyway, sorry. You know you're nosy too. You pass a wreck and you gotta look. But anyways, so this whole week I have been dropping Weston off at school, dropping the baby off at his other granny's house, my boyfriend's mom. We call her me mom. So I've been dropping him off there, and then I've been driving to Nashville every single day, which is like an hour and some minutes. It can be anywhere from an hour to an hour and 30, just depending on traffic, weather, all that good stuff. Like, Nashville is not the place. I'm just gonna be honest. I am not about all these lanes and the people be rude and like, I'm pushing 75. Okay, let's be honest. I'm pushing 80 and y'all are flying past me. But anyways, so that's what I've been doing all week. And then on top of that, you know, I have school and I really don't want to, like, I haven't missed a day. I don't want to miss a day. So what I do is I pack up all my stuff. I do my schoolwork. You know, I do my classes up there. And then I come home, pick my kids up, dinner, bed, all that, the normal routine after, you know, I pick them up or whatever. So that's just been the schedule for me. So today was like the big day where we really found out more stuff than we've been knowing. They've ran all kind of tests. They've done a heart cath. They've done CT scans, sonograms of the heart. Like, they've done everything, and they kept coming back to the fact that he probably has scar tissue. And they were saying that if he has scar tissue, what they wanted to do was they wanted to do a sorry, I'm still trying to drive and make this video because I won't have time. But anyways, so the doctor came in this morning and he said that, what was the last thing? The last thing they done was the heart cath. After after the heart cath, they said that if they didn't find like a blood clot or anything like that, then they would have to do this EP study. The easiest way to dumb this down and explain it is like they're gonna stick casts up in his heart, and then try to. The only way I can say it is like to pop a pimple. They're gonna go to the place where he's having the like irregular heartbeats, and then he's gonna try to ablaze it. Which to me, I mean, it really sounds like he's gonna try to pull and pop the pimple. So that's how I've been like explaining it to my family and stuff. But anyway, so this morning he came in, he was like, yes, he does have this, which we knew yesterday he has scar tissue. Today when he came in, he was like, he believes that my dad had a heart attack anywhere from 2 weeks to 3 months. It could have been a year. It must have been minor because he didn't know it. He didn't show signs. And you better believe, like, I'm on my parents. My mom, she used to have heart attack. This sounds crazy, but it's true. She would have a heart attack where she's slurring her words and she can't really lift her. She says her arm is sore, but she can't lift her arm. And I'm like, and I would come home from work and she'd be talking to me and I can tell. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? I know you don't drink, so what's wrong? You know, what's wrong? So I have to pay attention to my parents because they both don't want to go to the doctor and stuff like that, which I understand. I'm the same way, so I get it. But I never seen anything weird with Dad as far as all that. But they say he had a heart attack. That's where the scar tissue came from. That's what started all this. The scar tissue is causing, I think it's called heart palpitations. And it's really where, like, it's making his heart miss a beat. So it's just not in rhythm, really. So what they call the doctor that was in today is, they call him the electrician. And that's what he's going to do, is go in with the catheters and try to abrase the part where it is and fix it. And he said now, depending on the results of the EP study, they might want to give Dad a defibrillator. Which, a defibrillator is where, like, it'll shock your heart. So if your heart's not doing what it's supposed to do, it'll shock it. So I really don't know what to think or what to feel with all of this information. I feel like, and then today of all days, he was supposed to get the EP study today. So I can't rush because there's so much traffic and rain makes it even worse. So I just do what I can do, but I do try to get there before any major surgeries just to give him a hug and stuff. And like, growing up, my dad was very tough. He never cried. Like, I have never in my life seen my dad cry one time. The only time I seen him cry is when his mom died. He made no noise and tears just fell. And I remember, like, to this day, you know, and then after he lost his leg, I think it just kind of shook his life up, and, you know, he became very emotional. So, like, now, and don't laugh, but the, like, dog commercials on TV of all the sad dogs, he'll cry. Like, he's very emotional now. Don't tell him I told y'all. But anyways, so yesterday when I was up there, when he came back from the MRI, he just didn't act right. And an MRI, like, I guess I've never had one, but I guess they have, like, bells and whistles and sounds and stuff. And so he was saying he had a headache from that, which he is not a headache type of person. Like, he never normally has a headache. He don't take medicine for a headache. You know, like, that's just not him. So that kind of made me nervous. And just, like I said, the way he was acting, he just acted, like, depressed almost, you know, like sad. He wasn't really talking, which, I mean, it's hard to explain because that can be normal, but, like, I believe I can look my parents in the eyes and know when something is off. And there's something off. And I haven't had time alone with Dad to, like, talk to him to see where his headspace is at. You know, what is he thinking? How is he feeling? Like, about the situation, not, like, physically feeling. So, I mean, I'm a little upset about that, but I'm not going to tell my mom to leave. I don't want her to feel no type of way either. But anyway, so yesterday he was just acting, you know, the only way to describe it is like slick depressed. And then PT came in, which they wanted to get him up and stuff, and that was a whole scenario. Because I understand my mom, like, she don't want him up, and the doctor said not to get up and walk around the hospital. That he can get up and move into the chair or like walk to the bathroom or something. He does want a nurse in there. He don't want it to be just mom, of course. But he can do that kind of stuff. So PT came in. It's raining, so you probably hear my windshield wipers. But anyways, it's raining a lot harder than I thought. But PT came in there and they wanted to get him up and in the chair. Well, they got my mom riled up. My dad's feeling some type of way. And it was just a lot. And then, of course, it was like right when I left. So all that was going on. And then my nephew, like I said, he always shows up. And he told me he was going to take mom and them dinner. Which him and his girlfriend have been very supportive. Like, even his girlfriend has ran mom dinner. Which mom has money and stuff to get dinner. But it's just like the thought, you know. They have ran over and got her dinner. They go over and visit, you know, all that. So he had hit me up last night and said that he was going to go over and take mom her favorite snack. And he wanted to know what it was. So I told him and stuff. And then I called him and I was like, hey, like, I just want to let you know when I left, you know, the mood was kind of like not all that. Like, Dad, it seems upset. Mom is worried and upset, so it's like a mixture of everything. And he was like, alright, you know, well, I'm still gonna go, which I was glad, because Eric is a really good person. Like, he's a really good dude. And Anna, his girlfriend, she seems just the same. But Eric, like, I grew up not really with him, but I've been in his life. He's a really good dude. Like, he knows, like, that's one thing I like about him. Like, he'll go, and since I told him that, like, he'll ask some questions that can strike conversations. So, like, he'll ask Dad about the past, or he'll ask about, like, news stuff or football, you know, stuff Dad's interested in, or Mom. Get them talking, get them laughing. And that's what he did, because I called Mom at 9 o'clock. Normally at 9, she is in the bed. So the fact that she didn't call me had me a little worried. And so I called her, I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, you're interrupting my visit time. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I could tell, like, she was in a really good mood, so that made me feel better. Hold on. And this morning, sorry, it starts, like, pouring, and then it slows down. But this morning, he was supposed to go for that EP study, which I wanted to make it there before he went. But, you know, like I said, traffic is traffic, and I'm not gonna stress out trying to get there. I mean, I'm moving, but if we're stopped dead, we're stopped dead. There's nothing I can do about it. So, Mom knew I was on my way, but she had sent me a text before I even dropped my kids off this morning and was saying that Dad did not feel good. He was getting nauseous and actually, sorry to say it, I don't know if you have a weak stomach, but he was actually throwing up and stuff like that. So she didn't think they were going to do the EP study, and she was telling me if I wanted to stay home I could, which she already knows. Either one of them in the hospital, I'm coming every single day. It don't matter what's going on, I don't care, I'm coming. But so I called her right then just to make sure everything was like okay, and she said yeah, everything was fine, he just don't feel good. And so I dropped my kids off and stuff and headed up there. But the doctor had came when I was on my way up there, and I made Mom put me on speakerphone so I could hear him and ask questions if I had any. So that's how I got to know, like, everything going on. And then when I got up there, well, he had said, sorry, I'm really tired, but he had said that with Dad being sick, he did not want to do the procedure today, that he would be there tomorrow and he would rather wait, and hopefully Dad would be better and they could do the EP study tomorrow. So I've been up there all day. Dad is really the same, like, you know, like, I hate to say this, and sorry to any men that might be watching my channel, but when women get sick, I mean, it's a difference, okay? Let's just be honest, it's a difference. Women get sick and we still have to cook, clean, kids, all that. Men get sick. Like I said, no offense to any men that might be watching my channel, but y'all know, y'all be some babies. Like, y'all just want catered. Y'all can't move. Y'all gotta lay in the bed. Like, it's real. So, and dad, like, and mom has no patience. Mom, like, lost her patience, like, a good 10 years ago. Like, she has no patience. So, I try to talk her into going home and let me stay with dad just because I don't have patience when it comes to wanting things. But with my dad, I have more patience. But anyways, so, like, dad really ain't talking today. He's just sleeping. And if she tries to get him to laugh or something, like, he's just in that. He's sad. You know, he's sad. He got all this going on. He don't feel good, you know, and then everything else. So, it's just a lot. But today was just kind of like, really, I feel like today was their chill day. Because, like, while I was doing my schoolwork, mom and dad both took a nap, which I was happy about, letting them rest. Because, you know, nurses are in all through the night, taking blood sugar, blood pressure, all this stuff. So, when they take a nap, like, I let them nap. I don't say nothing. I try to keep the phones turned down, all that. So, it's just been a process. But I know I haven't made a video in a while, and this is why. I told myself I was going to make one, like, the morning routine and all that. But at this moment in life, like, I am just, I'm fine, you know, like, I'm good. But there's a lot on my plate. So I feel like it's not hard to get everything done, but I just have a lot to get done that I'm not getting, like, a moment. So, like, rundown, like, in the morning, I'm getting up earlier. I usually get up at 4:30. I'm trying to get up between 3. I hope this truck ain't coming over. Okay. Sorry, he scared me. But anyways, I'm getting up at like 3:34 so I can go ahead and take a shower because I want to shower before I go to the hospital. So I go ahead, get up, take my shower, read my Bible, let the dog out. Y'all know the routine. Y'all have seen it. Let the dog out, get the kids dressed, make the beds, straighten up, you know. And then I gotta get all three of my kids to their drop-off destination, whether that's school or their Mimas. Then I rush up here, stay with my dad, do homework, do my classes. Then I rush home, which their Mima, thank God for her because she's picking up my kids and keeping my baby. So I get to her house, pick them up, go home. But by the time I get home with traffic, it's like 4 o'clock. So I get dinner cooked, it's 5. Give the kids dinner, and then boom, like till I do dishes, clean the house, let the dog out, pack backpacks, get all that ready. The day is over, and boom, I'm starting right over. So, like, please just hang in there with me. You know, life is crazy at times. Like I said, I'm personally okay. It's just a lot of stuff going on right now. So, like, I'm hoping. So, I feel like this. Worst case scenario with dad, if he feels good tomorrow, then they will do the EP scan. Today's Wednesday. So, they will do the EP scan on Thursday. If they decide to do the defibrillator, they'll do it on Friday. And then he would be home either Saturday or Sunday is what I'm thinking. If they don't do the defibrillator and they just do the EP study and they feel good with it, then he would either come home Thursday or Friday. So, you know, everything's like coming, but my mom's impatient. I know dad's tired. So it's just, you know, all that. And dad is in his 70s. He's been through a lot. It's like losing the leg was a humongous life-changing thing for him. And that alone has changed my dad. So then, you know, like, I guess to already feel somewhat of a burden, which he isn't. I've told him. But you know how they get. But to already feel somewhat of a burden and then to be going through more stuff, you can't control anything you're going through, you know, so it's just a lot. I just don't want him to like give up or anything like that. I'm worried. It's been on my mind. So it's just, right now my family needs like prayer, because not only do we have stuff going on with my dad, but my brother's wife's stepmom, which has been in her life a long time, her cancer has come back. They gave her a month to live on Sunday. So it's like everything, you know. And that's one thing, like, me and my brother was talking, because he has stuff going on at work as well, which I'm not going to get into. That's their personal life, you know. I'm not going to do that. But everybody in my family right now is trying to get back with God, like drawing near to, ooh wee, please. Okay, sorry, I got scared. But everybody is trying to draw nearer to him. My brother is trying to go back to him, his wife, me, my boyfriend. We actually went to church, not this Sunday, but last. So, I mean, everybody is drawing near to him. And if you know anything, like, the devil is going to come for you. I'll call her back. My mom was calling. Hold on. I'll call her back. But the devil's going to come for you, you know. So I feel like that's what's going on. Like, just everything at once. All that, you know. So, and I told her, so I was like, we just got to pray and keep going. Pray and keep going. Don't fall back. Don't fall short right now. Keep going. Because the devil thinks he can have us. He had us before. So he thinks, you know, oh, I can do this, or I can do this, or I can do that. And like I told him, just like God knows our weaknesses and our strengths, so does the devil. So in my life, for me, my 3 weaknesses are my boyfriend, my kids, and my mom. Like, they're the 3 main people in my life that can affect me, in a sense. So I know for a fact, like, when the devil is trying to get me, he's going to use one of those 3. And it could be anything or everything, you know. And then my dad as well, of course. So, but that's why I told Rose, we just got to keep praying and keep going. We're on the right path. These are trials and tribulations. We're going to make it through. And then the glory of God will be on us. He's with us. He's walking through it with us. You know, I heard Pastor Mike Jr. say, I think it was him. He said, God won't take you. God will put you in a storm. No. I don't want to say that. I don't know if he said that. But he said God won't take you out of the storm, but he will walk through the storm with you. So, and I firmly believe that he is walking with us. We're praying every day. I send out my daily prayers to the grandkids. Me and Mom's little group chat with the grandkids. I say a prayer. I have a prayer that I send out to my brother, my mom, and my dad every day. So, I mean, and then my own personal ones, of course. But every day we're praying for every single person in our family. Things will be okay. I have faith, and I know things will be okay. We just got to get through it, you know. Keep pushing. Everything will be all right. God is good. He's not going to bring us this far and leave us. Ooh, it looks like they got a drug bust. Oh, man, I think they do. Ooh, or maybe somebody's in the ditch. I don't know. Who knows? The world is crazy. But anyways, the point is, like, especially if you're trying to walk with God, times are going to come and times are going to hit. Like, nowhere in the Bible does it say, oh, as soon as you give your life to God, everything's going to be perfect. No. I mean, the whole thing is, like, the way I really look at it is, like, the devil and God, I guess you can't say that, but in a sense, it's like God wants you, but so does the devil. And it's like more important for the devil to show God that he can have you. So when you take steps towards God, he's going to hit you with everything he got. Because he's up there like, shoot, God, I'm going to get him back. It ain't nothing, you know. And that's how I really think it is. And like Russ, I was telling him, like, me and my brother did some, I mean, I'm sure everybody has their story, but me and my brother done some stupid stuff. And like, we were raised in the church. Mind you, I didn't really pay attention. I mean, I paid attention. I know about Noah's Ark, that kind of stuff. But I wasn't the Bible thumping. Like, I couldn't read verses. I couldn't tell you chapters. None of that. My brother, on the other hand, like, he became a deacon. He was in the church. And he walked away. Not like, I'm not getting into his business, but he walked away. He made decisions that he shouldn't have done, and he walked away. So his biggest thing was like, what if God don't want me? And it's funny that he's talking to me because I'm the one that was like doing bad stuff too. Like, I never was like in the church like he was. So it's ironic to me how things played out. But like the night we were having a deep discussion about it all, and I told him, I was like, you gotta have faith. And it's funny because I constantly feel like God don't want me, or I've done something, you know, that he's mad at me for, you know, anything. And but my brother was saying that, and I was telling him, like, you gotta take your fear and jump head first, because God says leave your burdens at his door, leave them at his footsteps. He will walk through everything with you. He will work it all for your good. And then, like I told him, there is more rejoice for the sinner that comes back to God than for the holy that praises him daily. And that's why I was trying to tell him, like, yeah, you done some questionable things, but the fact that you're sitting here trying to get back to God, they are glorifying your name right now and are so happy. I mean, it literally says that he will leave the 99 to get the one. You're the one, bro. We're all the one. Like, he left the 99 to come get me. And yeah, I backtracked a little bit. Nothing too, like, to me it was bad. To him it's probably nothing and all that, but whatever. That's another story, different day. But like I was telling my brother, I was like, one thing that like plays in my head all the time is the fact that like people are out here dying because of their faith in God. Like when I was a kid, there was this school shooting. I don't remember like the exact details. I think it was a bomb threat, because when I was growing up, that was the big thing, bomb threats. And then you have to go outside. Well, when the girl went outside, there was a shooter there. And he told her, he had a gun to her head, and he told her, do you believe in God, yes or no? And she knew in that moment, if she said yes, she was going to die. And the faith she had in God, she said yes, and her life ended. And that's why I tell Russ, like, you're questioning about this situation, you're not going to lose your life. Yeah, this is a big situation, all that. Like, I'm not saying your problem is any less. But, like, I had an issue with an essay I had to write. I didn't like the subject. I didn't like what it was about. I didn't want to do the research on it because I didn't want to hear about what I was reading. And, you know, I kept telling myself, like, what kind of, which is probably not good either, but the thing that kept playing in my head is, what kind of Christian am I if I'm scared to tell the teacher I don't agree with this and really don't want to do it? But this girl just told this dude that she was a Christian and she knew she was going to die. So, I mean, you know, we had like a major conversation and stuff, but my mom had beeped in, so I'm a little nervous. Every time she calls, I get nervous. And she's probably just checking on me. But my brother did set up Life 360, so we can see where my mom, my dad, my brother, and where I am. But I want to jump over here and call her and make sure everything's okay. I will try to give y'all an update. If they come home over the weekend, then Monday I will make a video. Even if it's not a long one, it may just be a little talk with me, update, whatever, like this kind of is. But I just want to be able to let y'all know what's going on. They're home, they're not, what, you know. So, but I am almost to our town. I'm going to pick up my baby and Weston, and I got to do Weston's hair tonight. He has picture day tomorrow on Thursday, and then Friday they get to dress up in their Halloween costumes, and we get to go trick-or-treating Friday night. So, but tonight I want to do his hair so that way he looks nice for picture day. So I'm going to do that, and then once I get done with that, I have to go pick up my stepson from work, and then I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. That's it. I'm going to sleep. Got to get up early, do it all over again. I just, you know, say a prayer for my dad. Like I said, say a prayer for my whole family. Everybody is kind of got it going on between my brother, his wife, and then my dad. So my brother's having issues, his wife, I told y'all about her stepmom, and then my dad. So we just, you know, I ask that you just say a prayer and keep us in your thoughts and stuff, because God will bring us through it and we'll be back to normal soon. But I love y'all so much. I'm sorry that I haven't made a video. I know the comments are going to be like, girl, we understand. But I just want you to know, like, I do think about y'all daily. Like, dang, I made a video. But I'm normally, like, running through the house to get clothes together or something, you know, to get out the door, you know. So it's just been a lot. Arlo is doing good. He's been stuck in the cage during the days. But I feed him, take him out. He poops in peace. And he's been doing great. He ain't peed or pooped in the cage. Watch, today I'll go home and he'll do something. But then when I get home, I give him a little bit more food and let him run for the rest of the night. So he's doing good. He's getting big. He's sassy. I really think he's supposed to be a girl because he's sassy, but it's okay. But anyways, I'm going to jump off of here. I love y'all so much. Keep us in your prayers. I will talk to y'all soon. Love you. Bye.